Globally, an estimated 736 million women, almost 1 in 3, have been subjected to intimate partner violence, non-partner sexual violence, or both at least once in their life. 137 women are killed by a member of the family every day. Calls to domestic abuse helplines have increased 5 times in some countries because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This war on women has reached crisis-level proportions, so much so that the UN has named it the shadow pandemic. But still, we keep our stories hidden, feeling alone, helpless and hopeless. We're living in a world designed to keep survivors quiet and stuck in a cycle of shame and blame, unable to see the sheer power of our voices. And we've had enough. Women United's work shines light on the broken systems and toxic stories that keep abusers in power and victims and survivors silent, amplifies the voices of women and empowers them to heal and demand change. It's time to change the story about domestic abuse. It's time for women's voices to be heard. It's time to hear her roar. The following are clips from our upcoming Hear Her Roar film. You can watch all the full shorts at womenunited.org/hear-her-roar.
I think the language is powerful. I mean, I would describe myself as a survivor, and there's lots of people who don't survive it. That's how I would describe myself, and I'm proud of that.
I would do anything for victims and survivors. I would give them this space where they didn't feel like they have to prove that they're a victim.
To give someone a voice is the most powerful thing, I say. It spreads awareness, it alerts people as well, it educates people, because so many people don't understand what abuse is.
Abuse. I witnessed my father using a lot of emotional and psychological abuse, and growing up in this environment where there was a lot of violence and shouting, and I was physically attacked by my sister on a daily basis. So being in that environment, I thought everybody lived like that. I didn't know anything else.
I hope I would have been smart enough to leave if he'd just actually hit me in the face, because that's the kind of inaccurate portrayal that we get of domestic abuse, and you just, when it doesn't look like that, then that's how they gaslight you with it. That's how they make you question, and they're like, yeah, but like this didn't happen, you're out of your mind, this, like it's all you. And then you kind of just let them tell you that they weren't trying to hurt you, that they weren't being
so much shame and like guilt that over the years, as I started delving into like me and like trying to forgive myself, I then started speaking about it a lot more openly. The culture here is just, it's very much like what goes on behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. We are made to be polite. Women are supposed to be seen, not heard.
That teeth of women being in abusive relationships because they think it's their fault. Like 2 women a week are killed by their partner or ex-partner, and 3 women a week commit suicide as a result of domestic violence. They don't necessarily use the term killed, they say domestic abuse homicide, which means that this was a death by domestic abuse, and these deaths are preventable. They do not need to happen, and they are happening because so many victims are blamed, they are shamed, they're silenced, and their abuse is minimized.
I don't want to be ashamed of this anymore. I shouldn't be ashamed of this, like I didn't do anything wrong. Well, if I feel like this, I wonder if there's other people out there who feel the same and who are carrying around this shame, and why can't we all get together and just feel better about it? When you have this community of people who can relate and you just connect on a different level, and it's horrible that we've all had to go through something so traumatic, but to then find people who just get you on another level afterwards is such a reward.
Just me that's healing. As I'm healing, everybody else around me is healing with me, and all of my relationships have become stronger.
My voice eventually came, and when it came, it was loud and it was annoying, and it has caused so much to occur. Decided it was common assault, and with common assault, as a few might know, there's a 6-month time limit when it comes to reporting. So to have someone to turn to speak to, you would feel supported. You'd feel like
it's been 6 years since I left the relationship. It will always be part of me, and I will always sort of carry you know, the emotional scars of that around with me. But it's how, I think, it's how I use those, you know, how I use those emotional scars. You know, do I use them for positive and for change? And that's hopefully what I'm doing and what I'll continue to do.